Illinois, Kansas. JR here from the Ohio State Voice of College Football. Zach Guggenheim from Big Ten Football Talk. We are talking about the matchup of Kansas at Illinois. Now, this was not the most competitive matchup last year. Kansas did kind of pull ahead. I believe that was on a Friday night or a Thursday night. I remember watching that one and thinking, "Oh boy, poor,
Mhm.
poor Illinois here." But this one is on Saturday, a night game, 7 o'clock on FS1. Should be a fun one to watch. I am a little bit more encouraged after seeing what I saw for Illinois this weekend. Granted, it was against a pretty soft opponent. This was not a good opponent that Illinois faced. However, I was more encouraged. Luke Altmaier, 4 touchdown passes in the first half. There's a lot of quarterbacks that saw similar competition to what Luke Altmaier faced, and Luke Altmaier outperformed many of them.
Yep.
So I am encouraged. I don't know if it speaks to Illinois having a fantastic season, but I feel like this one was closer than I originally gave Illinois credit for. What's your thoughts on it, Zach?
Well, I remember last week we talked about what would encourage us for Illinois, and I think we said strong running game. The defense plays well. Altmaier is competent and efficient. They ticked all the boxes, right? Fagan had over 100 yards. The defense shut out again an overmatched opponent, and I think Altmaier. I've been banging this drum. I think Altmaier is one of the more underrated quarterbacks in this conference. Like, especially if he can continue to
Especially
stay
if as an
consistent.
offensive line.
Yeah. Yeah, but like he can move, he can throw. He's got a good receiver on the outside in Pat Bryant. And so I like honestly, I actually really want to pick Illinois in this game. And I think what keeps me from doing that is just the running and playmaking ability of Kansas. Like I just think the running back Neal and Jalen Daniels at
Jalen
quarterback.
Daniels, yeah.
Yeah, like they are a dynamic duo back there. And I think Neal had I think he averaged like nearly 13 yards a carry or something. Again, it was like
Yeah, he had
Linglewood or someone.
112. He had 112. But this
Yeah.
was also Lindenwood. I mean,
Yeah, Lindenwood. Yeah.
Illinois played Eastern Illinois. It's like at least they're comparable matchups, I guess.
Yeah. But, and so, and they both, they were both similar scores, similar, pathways getting there. So I like really want to pick Illinois in this game, but I just think the running attack for Kansas is a little too explosive. And I think it'll be close. Like I've got it field goal game, 34-31.
See, I do think the Kansas running attack is very, very good. I think Devin Neal and Jalen Daniels are going to do a good job. But I really like what I saw from
I
Illinois'
do
run
too.
defense. Their
I do too.
linebackers were all over the place. They were filling gaps. They were doing a fantastic job against Eastern Illinois. I feel like I have to keep saying this just for the rest of the time. It's Eastern Illinois. I get it. Okay. I get it, people.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
said, Kansas faced Lindenwood. So it's not like we saw a huge difference here. But I did feel like Illinois, in addition to stopping the run better, I also felt like they had better pass rush. I felt like the interior of
Mhm.
Illinois' defensive line was getting to the quarterback better than Kansas's was. Now, I don't think Kansas did a bad job of getting to the quarterback, but I just think Illinois did a better job of it than they did. I do think that although Luke Altmaier had the very good performance, I think that Kansas passed the ball a little bit more efficiently than Illinois did. But I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, Luke Altmaier, he only played really the first half. Outside of that, he was pretty much done. So it's hard to get a great gauge of that. But if Luke Altmaier can be this fantastic player that we think he might be able to be, especially with this offensive line getting better in pass protection, and Caden Fagan, Caden Keegan,
Caden Fagan.
Caden Fagan. I was like, hold on, it's not Keegan. Caden Fagan, dude, he's like 250 pounds. He is
He's a,
huge.
he's a
he's
big
gonna
man.
run. He is gonna run some dudes over for Kansas. I feel like Kansas is a little undersized in the box, not just their defensive line, but also their linebackers as well. I believe are a little undersized compared to Illinois' offensive line, and I think that they're going to get some push on them. And when you get Fagan out in the field, I think Fagan's just going to be knocking some of these guys over. Sonny said it here. He says Fagan, future Big Ten star this season. I don't know if he's going to be a star in the entire Big Ten, but he's definitely going to be the star for this Illinois team. Zachary Franklin, I think, is going to be a huge piece for this team. I just think the addition of Zachary Franklin with Caden Fagan If they can get themselves into the red zone, I think Illinois is going to be pretty automatic in the red zone in this game. It's just going to be, can they get themselves there? Can they move the ball
Yeah.
on this Kansas defense efficiently enough to get there? I believe they can, but I think that's going to be the key for Illinois in this one, is to efficiently get to the red zone. And then I believe once they get there, they will mostly get touchdowns.
So are you picking Illinois to win this game outright?
My heart says yes, but my brain says no.
You're where I'm at.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you know what? Since you picked Kansas, I'm going to play devil's advocate and I'll pick Illinois. I'm going to pick Illinois in this one to win 27-20. I think it's going to be a bit of a shootout. Shootout in today's standards of college football because of the running clock and stuff like that. You don't get the 40-point games nearly as often as maybe you once did. But for a Big Ten team, 27-20, kind of a shootout. So I think I like what Billy Tuesday here said. He said, rooting for the Fighting Bielemas. Yes, I am rooting for the Fighting Bielemas. I think the Fighting Bielemas get it done. Call me a Big Ten homer. I probably am, but I'm picking Bret Bielema.
I really, like I said, I feel
still don't like
Bert.
Like Bert. That's just such a funny sentence to me. I don't know why. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, two thoughts. One is that I don't think you're being a homer. Like, I think people, I think Illinois, I think we underestimated Illinois coming into the season based on what we saw. And I know it's Eastern Illinois, but like, I just think they did what they needed to do in a very underrated way. Like, it wasn't a lot of splashy transfers or anything like that. It was just development. And I think we forgot that, oh yeah, Bielema does this. He develops his guys. And so very much, I would not be shocked if what you said is what comes. Like I said, like, my heart says Illinois. And I'm just like, I think if I'm trying to be unbiased, I got to pick Kansas. But I'll say one other thing to this game, and then one other thought to what you just said about running clock. It is in Champaign. And if there's a little bit of wind, like, that really is in favor of Illinois.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just that home field advantage. Like, to throw in there, sometimes it sucks. So like that is a potential factor. I was at the Ohio State Akron game. I think I said that earlier in the thing.
Yep.
Oh, okay. It drives me nuts, this whole running clock thing, that it was done to shorten the game. But like, I'm watching on field, and they have a video thing or a timer for the commercial break. Most of them are 3.5 minutes. And I'm like, why are we doing a stupid running clock where a team like Akron can waste 7 minutes on 30-yard drives just so we can have 3.5 minutes of commercials? It's dumb. It's stupid. I hate it. Bring back the darn freaking first down stoppage of play. That's my rant. We can go on.
Hey, apparently a bunch of Illinois fans are going to experience what you experienced, because Sonny says sold out Memorial Stadium this weekend, so they'll get to experience that. Now, I do think the home field advantage for Illinois is going to be huge here for them. I think that Illinois fans, I mean, this is a very rabid fan base, especially in basketball, and I think that when the football team is good and when the football team is doing well, you see that translate over to football more often than not. However, it's about sustaining that success and keeping fans engaged, because similar to Maryland, once basketball season starts, it kind of, transitions over to basketball, which, I mean, Illinois is more of a basketball school. I don't really blame them, but they do have a good history of football as well. Is it the best history in the world? No, but it's pretty good, and I think it's underrated compared to what some people think about it. And I do think that these fans will show out, and especially if they, have Kansas on a rope or something like that, and they're really struggling come late in the game, I think these fans are going to be making a lot of noise, and they're going to make it really, really tough for Kansas. And listen, I ranked Bret Bielema a top half coach in the Big Ten in the offseason. Even with the additions of Dan Lanning and Jed Fish and all these other guys, I ranked Bret Bielema in the top 9. And so I tell you, there is Bret Bielema from Wisconsin in there somewhere. And if Bret Bielema from Wisconsin can show up and play the similar type of football that he won with when he was at Wisconsin, if he can do that this game, Illinois wins. And I think Illinois wins by more than one score if you get that Bret Bielema.
Wow. All right.
If it happens.
I'm hopeful. I'd rather be wrong and have that happen.
Yeah. It could. We'll see.
Yeah.
I'm not going to bet on it to happen. I'm not going to predict that, they're going to win by more than one score, but it would not surprise me if we're coming back here on Sunday night talking about, wow, big win for Illinois. They really took care of this. Because guess what? Illinois is a middle of the pack team at best in the Big Ten this season. Kansas is a contender in the Big 12. If you want to be that best conference in the nation, you have to win this game. You have to have one of your middle of the pack teams at best beat a contender in the Big 12. It just has to happen.